Tanzala.
This is Adnan.
So it goes without saying, right now we're all indoors, and with the second wave coming, we just thought it'd be a good idea to have a conversation about some of the things that Adnan and I have been doing to keep ourselves sane and in the most content and productive and helpful state of mind. And so we just wanted to share that with everyone here today, and also talk a little bit more about ways you can upskill yourself and come out of the quarantine with a more productive and content state of mind.
So we obviously realize that at a time like right now, it's very easy to fall into this trap of, lounging around in your pajamas all day, constantly binging TV shows on Netflix each and every day, browsing social media to no end. But I think now more than ever, it's very important to, be aware of the fact that we need to take care of our bodies, our wellness, and our overall well-being. This falls into two pillars: your diet and physical activity. As far as diet goes, I think it's important to be aware that we need to safeguard our immune systems, especially at a time like right now. So make sure that you're aware of what's going inside your body. Practice moderation. I know sometimes it's tricky when, we're all working from home and the fridge is just a few steps away, but make sure you're having balanced meals and an overall balanced diet. Ensure that you're getting the requisite amount of fruits and vegetables every day, and that you're drinking the required amount of water every day as well. In terms of physical activity, make sure you're squeezing in a workout every single day. Now don't worry, I'm not advocating that you become a gym junkie, because I certainly am not. I think for me, going to the gym has been essentially a chore for more than a decade at this point. It's basically another item on a checklist that I have to take care of every single day. But what I'm saying is something as simple as going out for a walk outside just for a half hour can do wonders for your mood. You can boost it to a great extent, have a knock-on effect on your productivity, and do a lot for your wellness and even your immune system. Like me personally, all I've been doing ever since I started working from home consistently is starting the day off with yoga, followed by burpees, and then a bit of basketball for about just half an hour every afternoon if time allows for it. Nothing complicated, just running drills up and down the court, dribbling, shooting threes, and that's pretty much it. Now this is also an invaluable time to pick up new hobbies or pursue those hobbies that might have fallen by the wayside years ago. Use this time, because trust me, you won't get it again. Use this time to learn new recipes, learn a new instrument, learn a new language, or pick up any other hobby that the four walls of your house allow for. Like me personally, the first time I made breakfast for Tans was during a period of quarantine. And for our first anniversary dinner, which unfortunately took place a few weeks right after that, also smack in the middle of quarantine, I learned a new recipe from scratch, which I otherwise would probably never have attempted had quarantine never taken place. I'm an avid reader, especially of fantasy and fiction, and I think up to this point, since March, I've probably burned through 20 books or so, and I'm reading 3 more books at the moment as well. I love playing the guitar, and I used to be in quite a few bands back in college. But ever since graduation, because of life, I haven't really had a chance to practice it or rehearse as much as I would have. So working from home and having that extra time has actually afforded me the time I needed to kind of brush off some of the rust and pick up the guitar again. I've literally gone back to basics, dedusting the guitar, restringing it, learning basic strumming technique, alternate picking, sweep picking, chords, scales, you name it.
So since we talked a lot about exercise and following your hobbies, etc., I think one thing we can't let fall to the wayside is this point about reflection and going into yourself and really doing a pulse check on yourself every day or every time you're feeling a little bit down. It's so important. I think even in general in life, we are so turned on and always ready to go every second of the day, and especially me, like working a 9-to-5 job and being in a corporate role and then coming home and doing XYZ and my chores, etc. It really does feel like I don't have like a pause button in a sense, and when you go through life like that, it's really easy to burn out. What helps me a lot is for me to just take a step back and meditate or do yoga or anything that really helps me like take stock of like what I have and what I've done throughout the day, etc., and just reflect on that and take learnings off of that. What I would suggest is doing either a guided meditation where I focus on things that I'm thankful for and focus on things that I want to achieve in the future, or the goals I want to achieve, and just visualize that. So you can try a guided meditation, and there's several apps as well which you can use. One of them is Headspace, which is really popular. I haven't used it as frequently, but a lot of people do like it, so you can definitely try that out. So yeah, meditate, yoga, anything that really brings you back to center. So while we're on the same topic of taking stock, etc., one thing that I've adopted during quarantine and I found it to be really helpful is journaling. So I don't mean it in the sense of writing a long journal, although that is really good as well for some people. What I usually do in the mornings is I'll take out my journal and I write down 3 things that I'm thankful for. It can be anything from something to the granular level of just being alive today, and for the cup of tea that I have in the morning, to something bigger than that, etc. The only rule is that you can't repeat something from the day before. So what I've realized, it really helps me start the day on a positive note, and it sort of programs your mind as well to think about positivity and gratitude right in the morning. And actually some studies have shown that when you think about gratitude, whatever behaviors you replicate in your head and your thoughts, that's what's going to be imprinted on your mind moving forward. So it builds a habit of positivity on the morning, and I've noticed whenever I start my mornings on a higher note, it really does trickle down through the day. I've had some really bad days, and I've noticed when that happens, it's usually in the mornings that something happens or my mood is off, and then the whole day I'm just in a more down mood than I should be. So try that out for yourself and just list out 3 things that you're grateful for every single day and journal that. So for the days that you are feeling down, another thing you could also do is get your thoughts, all those criticism or etc. Out of your head and just into paper. Just writing it all down can sometimes feels sort of like a catharsis moment, so you can definitely try that out as well. So one thing that's important every week, and while we're focused on self-development, etc., and getting through quarantine, is to treat yourself every week to something or the other.
Yeah, this is something that's really important for that overall balance and equilibrium. Sure, on one end you are being responsible and practicing moderation. On the other end, don't be deprived of the things that you really like as well. I mean, you obviously had a life before you started working from home.
Yeah.
You had a life before quarantine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's important to maintain that balance to varying degrees depending on where you are.
So if you're anything like me, and you're a big foodie like I am, so one of the things you can do to treat yourself is, order takeout and order a prepared meal once a week. I'm a big fan of shawarmas. I love them, and also harvest bowls, etc. And I can never make them as great as the restaurants do, so I'll order one once a week and just have that as a treat. And we obviously should be supporting local businesses as well, so it's a great way to do both. Since we're spending a lot of time indoors, it helps to have an environment which makes you feel good and safe and comfortable and just evokes positivity. So if you can find different small ways to spruce up your space, it doesn't have to be anything big. I've been finding a lot of different little details that have helped me make my house a lot cozier and a lot nicer, and just puts me in a really happy state. One of the things I've been really loving is the use of small coffee table plants or succulents. Such as this one, this tiny plant over here, and you can get these white vases and they look beautiful on a dark coffee table. It really pops out, and these small details add such a nice touch to the home. Or even the use of candles or colored pillowcases or any small details like that, which are very inexpensive and very easy to implement right away. So they really help spruce up the place, and plants really do have a mood boosting effect as well. So it's a bonus.
Now, a lot of this is obviously contingent on not spending an inordinate amount of time on social media or just binging TV all day, as I mentioned before, because what it does is it kind of truncates your day. It eats into the valuable time you might need for yourself to pursue your new hobby or to pursue your own development on any number of fronts. I know it's very tempting to always keep up to date with what people are up to, where they are, what they're doing, being constantly in touch, and we do advocate that for sure. It's good to be connected, but there is a tipping point as well, beyond which you're just kind of siphoning away the valuable minutes and hours of your day. So make sure you limit your social media usage and your insert name of random streaming service in this blank usage for the day. You'll see that using that time to pursue your hobbies instead and focusing on your own well-being and overall wellness goes a long way. On the professional front, if you are as growth-minded as Tans and I are, then you might want to consider the usage of maybe upskilling yourself. Ongoing learning is a big thing at the modern day workplace. It does make you more marketable as a candidate in the workplace of tomorrow as well. So for example, EDX and Coursera are two sites that I love using because they have a lot of courses that are relevant to my area of expertise, my own career ambitions. YouTube itself has tons of courses and tutorials, and there's no shortage of it, so I'm sure you'll find something that fits your fancy. If you're a member of LinkedIn Premium, that's great as well. Being a member of LinkedIn Premium gives you access to LinkedIn Learning, where they have courses ranging from something as short as 10 minutes in length to 2 hours in duration. Very relevant, very market-centric, very digestible courses. So that's something worth considering as well. On a slightly different note, with everything going around the world these days, I think it's quite easy to lose sight of the perspective that we are part of a society, we're responsible members of society, we're part of something bigger than ourselves. Now, end of the day, you can disregard everything that Tans and I have told you and go your own way, do your own thing. To each their own, right? But just keep in mind, no matter what you do, no matter what you choose to pursue, something as basic as kindness and decency goes a long way. Remember that people everywhere are hurting right now. People need help. They don't know what tomorrow holds. So volunteer as much as possible. Volunteer your time, volunteer your resources. If you're able to make a donation during this time of need, go ahead and do it. For example, you can donate to food banks. I mean, if anyone needs help these days, they do. Donate to local shelters, donate to student emergency funds, because students everywhere are kind of getting laid off as well. They mostly work part-time, they need help paying the rent, bills, paying for food, etc. For example, Tans and I, and we have mentioned this before, but we did a series of webinars a few months ago. And the reason we did those webinars, I mean, our primary motive was to give back, to help people who've helped us as well. We wanted to give students and soon-to-be graduates and new working professionals a sense of hope, help them in their time of need, give them insights and the knowledge that we have, that we've accrued over several years of working, and helping them somehow navigate the nuances of an increasingly complex business and economic landscape. And for that reason, we actually made it a free-for-all for any student anywhere in the world who wanted to log in, and made it available as a recording for anyone who wanted access to it as well. I think it goes without saying that as of this very moment, tens of millions of people around the globe are hurting right now. They're very uncertain about the future. It's a very complicated environment that we're living in right now. The self-isolation is taking place at an extreme level right now, to a point that we've never seen before. And existing mental health issues are getting exacerbated. So with that in mind, it's more important than ever to make sure that you come off in the best way possible to other people, be mindful of your social interactions, be cognizant of what you're saying and how you're taking things, be aware of where the other person is coming from. Try exercising more empathy more than ever, even when your first instinct is to be impulsive and to retort or respond in kind. If you're getting an aggressive email or a phone call or someone snaps at you, and I know that this is easier said than done, but just take a deep breath. Take in a few seconds or a few minutes to breathe. Go out for a walk if you have to, make a cup of tea, but just take a deep breath before you respond in a way that you might find regrettable later on. It's important right now to be kind to one another, to look out for each other, to have each other's back. As I said before, we're part of a bigger community and we're part of a society. Make sure to keep checking up periodically on your friends and family. Call them when you're able, and yes, I said call, not text. Make sure you call them to see that they're holding up okay, because they would do the same for you, and I'm sure many of them are.
He's definitely a big believer in calling instead of texting.
Consider this an opportunity. I'm going to ignore that. Consider this an opportunity to reconnect with your close ones, with your loved ones, and yeah, as I said, just keep looking out for each other.
So I don't know how I'm going to follow that amazing talk you just did, but yeah, so thank you everyone for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe and turn the bell notifications on so you're notified every time we post. And if you have any other tips to get through quarantine that can help all of us out, please do write in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching again, and we'll see you in the next one.